There comes a point in life when everything feels empty, when the things you used to love no longer spark anything, when the world moves, but you feel stuck in place. The Stoics had a name for this feeling. Not depression, not lack of ambition, but a silent drifting of the soul. Intro build. What do you do when life begins to feel meaningless? When your goals feel pointless? When you wake up and ask yourself, what's the point of trying? This video is not here to motivate you for 30 seconds. This is a guide to real clarity. The kind the Stoics used when their world collapsed, when they lost everything, when they felt the same void you're feeling right now. Because yes, the Stoics felt it too. Number 1. Meaninglessness is not a failure. It's a signal. Most people think meaninglessness is a sign something is wrong with them. But to the Stoics, it was simply a message. Your soul has outgrown its environment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you are disturbed, it is not events that trouble you, but your judgment of them." What you call meaningless is often a misalignment between who you are becoming and the life you're still living. Meaninglessness is the smoke alarm, not the fire. And ignoring it only makes the feeling stronger. Number 2, focus cannot exist without intention. Most of us try to stay focused by forcing ourselves to work harder. We open our to-do list, we push, we grind, we hustle. But the Stoics believed you cannot focus on what you've never defined. They asked, what direction is your life actually aiming at? Because if your mind is a compass without a destination, every path feels wrong. Every action feels empty. Every day feels like a loop. To the Stoics, the first step isn't to focus more. It's to choose what deserves your focus. And that leads to the next idea. Number 3, the 3 lenses of focus. What you control, what you partially influence, what you must release. Most of your suffering happens because you mix the 3. You try to control what isn't yours. You ignore what is yours. You worry about everything in between. Meaninglessness feels heavy because your attention is scattered everywhere except where it actually matters. The Stoic solution? Bring your focus back inside the circle of control. Your choices, your attitude, your actions today. You become unstoppable when you stop fighting the outside world and start mastering the inner one. Number 4, when life feels meaningless, return to the smallest possible purpose. The Stoics taught, purpose isn't something you find, it's something you create through small actions. If life feels meaningless, it means your purpose is too big, too abstract, too far away. Shrink it. Reduce your purpose to something you can win today. Not fix my life, not find my destiny, not become great, but today I will do the next right action. Clean the room, finish one task, message one person you've been avoiding, read one page, walk for 10 minutes. Small victories rebuild your inner momentum. This is what Marcus Aurelius practiced every morning. Do what's in front of you with focus and sincerity. Not your whole life, just the next step.
Number 5, you are not empty, you are overwhelmed. When everything feels meaningless, it's usually because your brain is overloaded with invisible expectations, imaginary deadlines, pressure to impress people who don't matter, fear of not being enough, thoughts you never slowed down long enough to process. The Stoics viewed the mind like a cup. If it's too full, nothing new can enter. Not passion, not clarity, not meaning. So the Stoics did something simple. They emptied the cup. They wrote, they walked, they sat in silence. They let their thoughts breathe. Because the truth is, you're not lacking meaning. You're drowning in noise. Number 6, focus comes from identity, not motivation. Stoic wisdom is clear. You don't rise to the level of your motivation. You fall to the identity you practice daily. If your identity is, I'm lost, I'm stuck, I'm broken, then every action becomes proof of that identity. But if you choose a Stoic identity like, I aim for clarity, I control what I can, I move forward one step at a time, you transform how your brain interprets life. Stoics didn't ask, what should I do? They asked, who do I want to be in this moment? Identity drives focus, and focus builds meaning. Number 7, your life is not meaningless, your vision is clouded. When the world goes quiet, when your heart feels numb, when nothing makes sense, that is not the end. That is the beginning. It means you're entering a higher stage of growth, one that requires you to shed old beliefs, old habits, old versions of yourself. Meaninglessness is a spiritual detox, a cleansing, a signal that you are preparing for a new chapter. The Stoics believed that when everything feels pointless, the soul is rearranging itself for something important. Stay still. Stay calm. Stay aware. If this message is connecting with you so far, then consider subscribing, not for the algorithm, but because somewhere inside you, a deeper version of yourself is waking up, and I want to help you strengthen it. What is the one area of your life right now that feels the most meaningless? And what small action can you take today to change it? Drop your answer in the comments. Your story might help someone else who feels the same.
You think you're fighting the world, but the truth is, the battle is not outside, it's inside. The Stoics believe the mind is a battlefield, and most people lose because they never realize they're at war. Early, we uncovered why life feels meaningless and how the Stoics reframed that empty feeling as a signal, not a failure. Now we dive deeper into the invisible war happening inside your mind. Because if you cannot win the battle within, you will never win the battle outside. This is where your focus either sharpens like a blade or collapses into chaos. Let's begin. Number 8. The mind's default state is disorder. Most people don't know this, but the Stoics believed the mind naturally drifts toward chaos unless you take command. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently dwell on." Meaning, if you don't actively lead your mind, it will wander to fear, to regret, to doubt, to noise, to everything except the present moment. This is why you lose focus. Not because you're weak, but because you're untrained. The mind behaves like an untrained animal, powerful, instinctive, reactive. If you don't direct it, it will drag you into distraction, despair, and emptiness. The Stoic solution: train the mind through attention, discipline, and clarity. This leads us to the next truth. Number 9. Attention is the currency of meaning. Whatever you give your attention to becomes your world. Your habits, your beliefs, your moods, your identity, your future. Everything is shaped by what you repeatedly focus on. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." If your attention is split, scattered, and pulled in every direction, life begins to feel meaningless because meaning comes from depth, not width. You're not supposed to pay attention to everything. You're supposed to be selective. The Stoics mastered meaning by mastering attention, not by having a perfect life, but by focusing intensely on the things that mattered and ignoring everything else. This is your next lesson. Number 10. Cut the noise, strengthen the signal. You cannot stay focused in a meaningless world if your mind is filled with noise. Noise from social media, noise from people who drain you, noise from old memories, noise from imagined futures, noise from expectations that aren't even yours. Stoicism teaches, life becomes easier when you remove the unnecessary. Meaning becomes clearer when the noise becomes quieter. To regain focus, you don't need more motivation. You need less distraction. You need space. You need silence. You need the courage to say, "This doesn't matter. I release it." That is how meaning reappears. Number 11. The Stoic split. What deserves your energy? The Stoics used a mental tool you can use today. A simple question that cuts through confusion instantly. Does this help me live in alignment with the person I choose to be? Not the person society wants you to be. Not the person your past shaped. Not the person fear created. But the person you are consciously becoming. Use this question as a filter. Does scrolling help you become that person? Does arguing with people help you become that person? Does worrying about the future help you become that person? Does comparing your life help you become that person? Most often, no. That's why you feel empty. You're giving energy to things that take from you instead of things that build you. Focus returns when you stop feeding the wrong things.
Number 12. The enemy within, the Stoic view of internal resistance. Stoics understood something modern psychology calls internal resistance, the part of you that wants comfort instead of growth. It whispers, "Not today. You're tired. It won't matter. You're not good enough. Why even try?" This inner enemy kills more dreams than failure ever will. But Stoicism teaches, you don't eliminate resistance, you override it. Epictetus said, "No man is free unless he masters himself," meaning freedom comes not from removing resistance, but by acting despite it. The Stoics practiced one rule: do the next right action even when your feelings protest. Feelings come and go, actions build character, and character builds meaning. Number 13. The discipline of the present moment. When life feels meaningless, you're usually living in two places. The past you can't change, the future you can't control. The Stoics brought their focus back to the only place where life is real, now. They believed the present moment is a training ground, a small arena where your actions build the meaning you're searching for. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. You cannot feel meaning when you're not fully here. You cannot focus on today if your mind is still trapped in yesterday. You cannot grow if you're busy imagining the worst-case scenario." The Stoics didn't escape the present. They sank deeper into it, because meaning always exists in the moment you're actually living. Number 14. You don't need a grand purpose. You need a direction. People often say, "I don't know my purpose. I don't know what I want. I feel lost." The Stoics would gently respond, "Purpose is not discovered, it is practiced." You don't need a cosmic answer. You don't need a life mission. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a direction, a compass, a path. Focus comes from movement. Meaning grows through action. Clarity appears after effort, not before. So when you feel meaningless, the Stoics would say, choose a direction, any direction, and walk. Momentum creates clarity, and clarity creates meaning. Number 15, the Stoic reframe. Life is not meaningless. Your perspective is narrow. The Stoics believed that meaninglessness is a perspective problem, not a life problem. When you zoom out, your struggles make sense. Your confusion becomes growth. Your emptiness becomes preparation. Marcus Aurelius practiced this every day. He zoomed out from himself, from his past, from his problems, until he saw a bigger picture. He realized life feels meaningless when you stare too closely at one moment. Zoom out and your story changes. Number 16. Build a philosophy, not just a mood. Feeling motivated is easy. Staying focused is hard. Maintaining meaning is even harder. That's why the Stoics didn't rely on emotion. They built a philosophy, a structure strong enough to guide them through grief, chaos, war, loss, and uncertainty. Your philosophy is your anchor. When life feels meaningless, philosophy gives you direction, clarity, process, strength, purpose, identity. This is why you're here, not to chase random motivation, but to build a mindset that can withstand anything. If these ideas are helping you reclaim your focus and rebuild your inner world, consider subscribing, not for me, but for the stronger version of yourself that is emerging day by day. What's the biggest internal battle you're facing right now, and what Stoic principle helps you face it? Drop your thoughts below. Your comment might give someone else the clarity they desperately need.
You can lose everything, your passion, your clarity, your direction, but you are never truly lost until you stop rebuilding yourself. And this is where the Stoics were different. When life collapsed, they didn't chase meaning, they built it. Early, we learned why life feels meaningless, and we explored the inner war that takes your focus away. Now, we reach the heart of Stoic philosophy. How to rebuild yourself, slowly, deliberately, powerfully, until meaning returns, until focus becomes natural, until your life aligns again. This is the part where everything comes together. Let's begin. Number 17. Meaning is not an emotion. It's a structure. One of the most powerful Stoic ideas is this. Meaning is not something you feel. It's something you build. People get stuck because they wait to feel motivated, or to feel passionate, or to feel inspired again. But feelings are the weakest foundation for life. The Stoics knew, you don't create meaning by waiting. You create meaning by designing the structure of your day, your habits, your values, your decisions. Meaning comes from order, from discipline, from direction. Your life becomes meaningful when your daily actions support the person you want to be, not the person you feel like being, not the person your emotions push you toward, but the person you choose. Number 18. Rebuilding Step 1. Reconstruct your values. The Stoics believe that true focus comes from knowing what you value and acting in alignment with those values. But most people don't know their values. They only know their desires. Desires are emotional. Values are stable. Desires change with mood. Values shape your life. Here are the 5 core Stoic values you can rebuild your life on. 1. Wisdom. The ability to see clearly. 2. Courage. The ability to act even when afraid. 3. Temperance.
the ability to control impulses and distractions. 4. Justice, the ability to live with integrity and fairness. And 5. Purposeful action, the ability to move forward, not drift. If you anchor your life on these, meaning returns. Because these values steady the mind, calm the emotions, and guide your actions. The Stoics believed if your values are strong, your focus will follow. Number 19. Rebuilding Step 2. Create a ritual of stability. Meaninglessness often comes from chaos, disorder, randomness. Stoics fought this with rituals, simple, repeated actions that stabilize the mind. They didn't think rituals were boring. They thought rituals were freedom. Here's what they practiced. Morning ritual. Sit in silence. Breathe. Ask, what is my duty today? Visualize challenges. Prepare the mind. Midday reset. Pause. Correct your posture. Notice your thoughts. Realign your attention. Evening reflection. Journal. Review actions. Accept mistakes. Learn. And sleep with a clean mind. These rituals form a skeleton, and your day becomes the body that attaches to it. Meaningless days happen without structure. Focused days rise from ritual. If your life feels chaotic, it's not because you're weak. It's because you have no rhythm. Number 20. Rebuilding Step 3. Reduce life to the essential. Life becomes meaningless when it becomes too full. Too many tasks, too many thoughts, too many expectations, too many comparisons, too many opinions. Stoicism teaches a powerful antidote. Subtract. Simplify. Reduce. Meaning doesn't come from adding more to your life. It comes from removing what suffocates you. Let go of people who drain you. Let go of habits that weaken you. Let go of responsibilities that aren't yours. Let go of pressure that doesn't belong to you. Let go of the future you fear. Let go of the past you keep reliving. Meaningfulness is the natural state that appears when you remove what is meaningless. Number 21. Rebuilding Step 4. Focus on the work, not the reward. One of the deepest Stoic truths. You control the action, never the outcome. The moment you attach your purpose to results, you corrupt your focus. If you only act when success is guaranteed, you will barely act at all. This is why life feels meaningless, because your mind is tied to outcomes you can't control. The Stoics broke this chain. They worked for the sake of the work, not the applause, not the recognition, not the results, not the approval. Meaning comes from effort, not achievement. Focus returns when you fall in love with the process.
Number 22. Rebuilding Step 5. Accept that meaning comes with responsibility. Meaninglessness often comes from freedom without direction. The Stoics believed you become meaningful when you become responsible. Responsible for your choices, your emotions, your routines, your attention, your character, your reactions, your growth. Most people feel empty because they have no role, no responsibility, no duty, nothing that depends on them. The Stoics weren't motivated by pleasure. They were motivated by responsibility. Your life becomes meaningful the moment something matters enough for you to show up. Take responsibility for something small, and your world changes. Number 23. Rebuilding Step 6. Act as if you already are who you want to become. The Stoics had a powerful psychological technique long before modern psychology existed. Act as if. Act as if you are focused. Act as if your life matters. Act as if your actions shape your future. Act as if your identity is already changing. This isn't pretending. This is practicing the identity you want. Your actions sculpt the person you become. Your habits carve your future. Your behavior builds your meaning. You don't wait to become strong, you act in strength. And strength follows. Number 24. The Stoic Road. Meaning is built in silence. Modern life tells you meaning is loud, big dreams, big achievements, big success. Stoicism whispers something different. Meaning is built quietly, in silent mornings, in small decisions, in consistent actions, in private discipline, in inner victories nobody sees. Life doesn't become meaningful all at once. It becomes meaningful one day at a time, one action at a time, one moment at a time. Meaning grows slowly, and then suddenly. Number 25. The final Stoic lesson. You are always capable of beginning again. This is the heart of Stoic philosophy. You don't need a perfect past. You don't need a clear future. You don't need motivation. You don't need certainty. You only need this, a willingness to begin again. When life feels meaningless, begin again. When you lose focus, begin again. When everything collapses, begin again. The Stoics rebuilt their lives over and over and over until meaning became the natural result of their persistence. And so can you. If this message helped you rebuild even a small part of your inner world, consider subscribing. Not for algorithms, but because you're choosing to become someone stronger, and this channel is here to guide you every step of the way. What is one area of your life you are ready to rebuild, starting today? Drop yours in the comments. Your answer might inspire someone else to begin again.